Hey there, Math 7 students. Today I want to go over this practice test with you, some of the questions that I've seen you guys struggling with. Number 1, we'll start with. It says translate the figure 2 units right and 3 units up. Most of you seem to be doing this with no problem, but you have to literally take each point that's plotted, move it 2 units right and 3 units up. And you have to plot those points on the big ideas, and it will connect the dots for you. If you connect that last dot, it'll draw the polygon. So yeah, it's a triangle. It's been shifted 2 units to the right and 3 units up. Number 2 says draw the reflection of the figure in the y-axis. So you're going to pretend that the y-axis is a mirror, and you're going to mirror over the y-axis, which is your vertical axis right here, right? That's your y-axis. You're going to mirror the triangle over the y-axis. And so you count the spaces between the points of this triangle and the y-axis, and you come over here and you plot the same distance away from there. So if this is 4 units away from the axis, we come over here 4 units away from the axis and put the point. This is 1 unit away, so we come 1 unit away. This is 2 units away, so we come 2 units away from the axis and we connect the dots, okay? And that's how we reflect over the y-axis. Make sure you're paying attention to the directions and doing what the question asks you to do. Number 3 asks you to rotate the figure 90 degrees counterclockwise about the origin. And they give us this little triangle, right? 90 degrees about the origin means it's moving this, in counterclockwise means it's moving this way, so it's moving from this quadrant to this quadrant. And this point, which is 1, -1, becomes 1, 1. This point down here, which is 1, -4, becomes the point 4, 1. And this point here, which is 2, -4, becomes the point 4, +2. Plot the points, connect the dots. Okay. Number 4 says rotate the figure 90 degrees clockwise about the origin and then reflect in the x-axis. This one's a little tricky. They're asking you to do 2 things, right? So first you need to rotate it clockwise about the origin. So it would come this way. And notice that one edge is on the y-axis, which means that one edge will be on the x-axis when you rotate it. And so we rotate, and it would be this box here, right? That rectangle there. But then you need to reflect it in the x-axis. So this rectangle gets flipped up, right, over the x-axis. And so then we plot our points and connect the dots and move on to the next question. Number 5, there were some questions on. It gives you the vertices of a triangle. It says A is 6, 0, B is -6, -3, and C is 0, 6. And then it says draw the image after a dilation with a scale factor of 1/3. That just means you're going to multiply the x and the y values of every single point by 1/3. So A becomes 2, 0, because 6 times 1/3 is 2, and 0 times 1/3 is 0. And then you multiply the x and the y coordinates of B by 1/3, and you get -2, -1. You multiply the coordinates of C by 1/3, and you get 0, 2. And then you plot those points, right? 2, 0, -2, -1, and 0, 2. And then you connect the dots, and you move on to the next question, which is Number 6, it tells us the vertices of a rectangle are -1, 1, B is 1, 1, C is 1, -2, D is -1, -2. It says dilate the rectangle using a scale factor of 2 and then translate it 4 units right and 3 units down. So again, there are multiple steps here and we need to be careful, right? So first we want to dilate it. So we multiply the x and y coordinates by 2. That's why you see the a prime there as -2, 2, the b prime of 2, 2. C prime is 2, -4, D prime is -2, 4. And so I actually plotted those points, okay? And then I moved those points 4 units right and 3 units down. 4 units right, 3 units down, 4 units right, 3 units down, etc. Plot those points, connect the dots, and then we move on. Number 7 asks if the two triangles are similar. They are not. How do we know? Look at angle B on the smaller triangle. That's a right angle, right? And we look at angle E. Angle E is not a right angle. Those are supposed to be corresponding sides, but because the angles are not the same, the triangles are not similar. So you would select no for number 7. Number 8 says the red figure is similar to the blue figure. Complete the description of a similarity transformation between the figures. And so this one's sort of a fill in the blank, right? They give you some options here. And it says one possible similarity transformation is to dilate the red figure with respect to the origin using a scale factor of, well, what's happening here between the red and the blue? It's getting smaller, right, between the red and the blue. What is the length of the blue side? That's a 1. What's the length of one of the legs here of the red triangle? It's 2. So if you're going from 2 to 1, you're dividing by 2 or you're multiplying by 1/2, right? So if you multiply by 1/2, the -4, -4, well, the -2, -4 becomes -1, -2. And the point -4, -4 would become -2, -2, and so on. Okay, and so you end up with this little smaller triangle. That's a triangle, not a rectangle. But how do we go from there to there? Well, it says then reflect the image over or in the blank axis. We're going to reflect it over the x-axis. This is your x-axis. It's going to flip over and land right there. Okay, there did not seem to be many problems with number 9. It's just matching the corresponding parts of the congruent figures. And so just pay attention to the figures and your options and do it carefully. Move on to 10. It says triangle x prime, y prime, z prime is a dilation of triangle xyz. Identify the type of dilation and find the scale factor. So is from y to y prime, z to z prime, is it getting bigger or smaller? Is it an enlargement? No, it's a reduction for sure. Well, then the question is, what's the scale? So if y is at 8 and y prime is at 4, it has decreased by 1/2. So the scale factor is 1/2. And that brings us to the last few questions here. Number 11, it says the figures are similar and the ratio of the perimeters is 2 to 5. Find x. Well, if the ratio of the perimeters is 2 to 5, then we can make a proportion. 2 over 5 equals x over 7. And we can cross multiply. When we do that, we get 14 is equal to 5x. We divide both sides by 5. You can leave your answer as 14 over 5, 14/5, or 2.8. I would give you credit for either one. Okay. And then a scale drawing of an office uses a scale of 2 inches to 3 yards. The scale drawing has an area of 16 square inches. What is the area of the actual office space? Well, the actual office space. So remember that for area, the ratio needs to be squared. So you can do 16 over x equals 2 over 3 squared. You have to square this guy. So you square the top, you square the bottom. It's 4 over 9 is equal to 16 over x. And then you can cross multiply. You get 144 equals 4x. You divide both sides by 4. You get x equals 36. And that would be your answer for number 12. I hope this helps you as you are preparing for your test on chapter 11. Have a good day.